Hi, this is Jack Lazar, founder and CEO of Compound Digital. Today I'm going to be going over creating static image ads for B2B SaaS brands to increase your book demos. This is from a section of our playbook that we've used to produce 50,000 plus demos for B2B SaaS brands to date. In this video training, you will learn the importance of static image ads in converting traffic to sales, why I recommend starting with image ads over video ads, how to create winning static image ads, why it's important to develop value propositions and headlines before testing, 2 different examples of creating static image ads for B2B SaaS brands, why simple ads are more effective than complex ads, how to see which creatives perform the best, and how to A/B test creative and optimize your ad account. So why would we run with static image ads for B2B SaaS brands? Firstly, they have lower CPMs typically than video ads, meaning your ad costs are lower. And then typically your cost per conversion, your cost per book demo is also lower as a result. Secondly, from static images, we can very clearly from static image 1 to static image 2, just swap out the headline and see which messaging resonates the best with our target audience, which is more difficult to do with video because there are many more variables going on with video. Ease of creation, again, because they're simply static images and we're trying to create very simple images here and literally just isolate the headlines. It's very easy to create 1 or 2 different ad templates and then swap out 3 to 5 different headlines for each template, which is much easier, much quicker, and much more efficient than creating video ads. Next up, we've got message focus. So it's very easy and efficient to test different messaging angles with static images because you're just swapping out one headline for the other. So it allows us to do scientific testing at scale. And along the same lines, quick deployment, right? So it's easy to put together the ads and easy to test and see what the winners are. So we can roll it out quickly, easy, effectively, and learn what our ideal message, what our ideal value propositions, what our ideal headlines are for our target market to drive maximum conversions, maximum book demos. So should we use image ads or should we use video ads? Both image and video ads can and will convert. They both work for certain. I've seen both of them work innumerable times. And now we've got the obvious out of the way that image and video ads work. Let's discuss which to use and why. So again, the benefit of image ads here is that you can do the scientific method of testing because you can literally create 5 different headlines and using the same ad template, swap out only the headline and see which one performs the best. Typically, image ads have lower CPMs, which means your ad costs are lower. Typically, if your ad costs are lower, your cost per conversion, your cost per demo is also going to be lower. And finally, it's easier to make, to test, and to scale image ads than it is video ads. What I recommend is stage 1, finding what messaging works best, finding which value proposition and which message and which angle works the best. Once you have your winners, you can then go ahead and create video ads on top of that to extract additional value and additional conversions. But there's no reason to reinvent the wheel here. Start off with image ads. This will allow you to test at scale and actually do robust A/B testing. So that's all well and good me spouting that out loud opinion, but where do I get these opinions from? So this is an example of one of the B2B SaaS brands that we work with. They've generated over 125 demos every single month for the past 18 months consecutively. And this B2B SaaS brand we've been working with for the past 3 months, and they've generated 250 now demos at 150 cost per demo to date. And they're closing at around a 10% close rate. So for every $1,500 in ad spend they're spending, they're generating a new customer. And for both of these brands, the bulk of conversions that we've generated for them has come through static image ads. How do we go about creating image-only ad creative for B2B SaaS brands? So people tend to overcomplicate everything in life, and ad creative is also overcomplicated by most people, most brands. Conveniently though, the more simple your ad creative, the better results you're actually going to drive. So I advocate for super simple ad creative, whereby typically the only variable we're swapping out is a different headline or a tweak to the ad template. My go-tos for simple ad creative are easily understandable in 1 second, easily digestible in 1 second, 3rd grade reading level, big and bold, 1 main idea per ad creative. So you don't want one value proposition and then another value proposition in the same ad creative, and lots of white space. Keep it uncluttered. Other than that, there are no rules. Get creative as you like. Change out your color schemes, your sizing, spacing, the flow of your ad templates. The most important thing we're going to be looking to isolate and to test at scale are your different headlines, which you're going to derive from first producing your value propositions, turning those into value statements, and then adding emotion-based triggers to those value statements and shortening them to 5 or 10 words. So how to create ad creative for B2B SaaS? There's 3 steps. First, value propositions, then headlines, then creative. So to develop value propositions, what we're going to do is understand your target audience's pain points, desires, and needs. And then from there, we're going to create value statements, craft clear, concise value propositions that address the needs, and then focus on the exact value you provide to solve that need. Once you've created your different value propositions, you're then going to craft headlines for each of those value propositions using emotional triggers. Typically, I find the best emotional triggers for generating conversions are going to be either fear or joy. The reason why is because people run away from things they don't like. They run away from the fear and they run toward things they do and they do need, which is joy. Finally, we're going to keep these headlines very concise. So between 3 to 10 words. Ideally, the shorter is always going to perform better. So once we've created our different value propositions, we're then going to create all of our headlines. And then finally, we're going to design the static image creative. Using a simple design tool like Canva, creative really doesn't need to be the next Michelangelo piece. That creative can be very simple and it needs to just focus on the headline because that's what we're going to be testing. From each different ad creative is going to have a different headline in it. And then we're going to be running A/B tests. So for example, we got value prop 1. It's got 5 different headlines. And then we're going to create 2 different ad templates. What that does is create us 10 different versions of ads because we've got 5 headlines, 2 ad templates. Each headline is going to go onto ad template 1. Each headline is going to go onto ad template 2. That allows us to test all these different 10 ads out. And we can see which ad template is performing best and which headline is performing best. An example of how we create static image ads for a B2B SaaS brand. So here, we're going to look at a fictional CRM for real estate. So first up, developing value propositions. A couple of different value proposition examples would be streamline your client management process with our real estate specific CRM. Never miss a deal again with automated follow-ups tailored for real estate professionals. Boost your productivity by centralizing all client and property information in one place. So now we've created those value propositions. How do we go about generating headlines from those? So example headlines based off of the value propositions we just created would be simplify your real estate client management, automate your follow-ups and close more deals, centralize your real estate data for maximum productivity, never lose a deal again with our real estate CRM. From all these different headlines that we've created, I'm going to isolate what we perceive to be the most likely to convert for testing. And remember that I said we always typically want to tie our headlines to emotional triggers of fear and joy. So one headline that's probably going to perform very well would be never lose a deal again with a real estate CRM because that's creating fear, and increase your sales efficiency in real estate is desire, is joy. So we're going to run with those 2 headlines as well as any and all other headlines that we think could have the potential to be a top performer based off of the logic that we've already discussed. From there, designing the static image creative is very simple. We're literally just going to create a couple of different ad templates. So that's going to be your logo, the background color, the typography of the text, maybe a graphic in the image, which is going to be small, but the bulk of each ad creative is going to be your headline, is going to be literally the words in bold, which allows us to test messaging at scale and find winners at scale very quickly and very efficiently. And then we're going to build all those ads and we're going to put all the ads, all the headlines from the first value proposition into the same ad set and all the headlines from the second value proposition into a second ad set. That allows us to both be testing out which headlines are performing best for each individual value prop, and then which value proposition is performing best because we're testing one versus the other. Here's an example of creating ad creatives for a tax planning fintech. So you'll see 10 creatives for each value prop and each angle below here. And after creating the different value propositions, we went with the following headlines to test. So the first one would be stop losing your clients. And the second would be save the clients thousands in fees. How did I decide what inputs to put in for the ads? It all started with that first session of creating different value propositions and then headlines based off of those value propositions, and then choosing our most likely to succeed headlines based off of the best guess. As we continue onwards, we're going to continuously be testing out all the other headlines too. But just to get started, we want to go with a few likely winners. And you're probably going to know which headlines are going to resonate loosely the best with your target audience because it's your brand. And from doing customer research, from talking to your customers, what their pain points are, what their desires are, what their fears are, and how to sell your product, sell your service against those. And then to create these ads, what I did was for this fictional firm, I chose 2 brand colors, so pink and red, added 4 financial advisors to all the different static images so that financial advisors know that they're the ones being targeted. added the brand name. So this fictional firm is called Tax Planly. So I added Tax Planly as like the logo, the brand name, into all the different static images. Then I designed 5 different ad templates to test. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once all 5 ads were created, I duplicated those ads and swapped color A for color B. And then that creates all 10 ads for the first value proposition. Once all those 10 ads were created for the value prop 1, we then need to do the same thing for value prop 2. So you duplicate all those ads out and you simply swap headline 1 for headline 2. This allows for a very clear A/B test between value prop 1 and value prop 2. And what this structure of testing allows us to do is that by the end of this first round of testing, we may have determined the winner for any or all of the following: which value prop is performing best, which headline performs the best, which color of the 2 brand colors perform the best, and which ad template perform the best. And then we're going to want to continuously building off of this by putting all the information of what performs the best into a Google Sheet. We'll then be able to see, okay, typically this value proposition, this style of value proposition with this emotional trigger and this type of headline and this type of ad template perform best. So when we're trying to come up with new creative, we have roughly a guide, a template, a framework of how to create winning creative to generate interest from our specific target audience. And by compounding that knowledge, compounding those wins, we're going to be able to scale our ad account by building a team of winning ads. I do want to reiterate, simplicity when building ads is super important. It generates better results. And that's mainly because it's super easy to understand from the consumer's perspective. So again, from the top, the rules for winning ads would be easily understandable and digestible in 1 second, 3rd grade reading level, big and bold, 1 main idea per ad creative, and a lot of white space. I really want to reiterate the point to not overthink your ad creative. I can assure you your prospects won't. They're busy, and if your ad is complex, they'll just simply keep scrolling. So instead, serve your headline up on a silver platter. Here's an image of your prospect's brain with simple ads. So I get it, I need it, I'm going to click. And conversely, if it takes them 4 to 5 seconds to decipher exactly what value your product or service provides, why would they click on it? Put yourself in their shoes. They're busy. They're on social media, probably looking to have a good time or distract themselves from a bit of work. So it's on you to provide so much value up front with this 5 to 10 word headline that they simply can't resist on clicking on it. How to determine which of your ad creators perform best? So we're going to track our cost per demo. And this is our primary metric for success. Typically for B2B SaaS, you're going to be wanting to optimize towards booked demos because booked demos lead to sales calls, lead to new customers. So there are supporting metrics that you can also look into. So click-through rate, cost per click, things to that end. Typically when you have a really low click-through rate on an ad, that means the cost per click, the amount you're actually paying to get somebody through your landing page is going to be much higher. And then your cost per demo is lower as a result. So it is important to look at things like click-through rate and cost per click. The algorithm is always going to be optimizing towards the ads that are generating the best cost per demo, if that is what you chose as your event to optimize towards in your ad set, which is super important to do. If you want to generate book demos, optimize for book demos. Don't optimize for landing page views. And then when you're looking at the different metrics of all your different ads, you're going to want to look at cost per demo for each of your individual ads. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to achieve. You're trying to achieve the lowest cost per demo so that you can in turn achieve the lowest cost per acquisition. So you're going to want to continuously monitor the performance of those ads. The algorithm is going to spend the bulk of the budget towards ads that it perceives to be the most likelihood to generate your conversion event at the lowest cost. So it's going to be doing some of the optimizations for you anyway, but you always want to make sure to turn off poor performing ads. So typically what that means is if your average cost per demo is $250, for example, and you've got an ad that's consistently generating demos, but they're generating demos for $400, you're going to want to turn that ad off because the algorithm is still favoring that ad, but it's not efficient enough. So the algorithm is a $1 trillion algorithm and is super smart at this point in knowing what you want and optimizing for that. But there's definitely increased efficiencies that you can gain by being more ruthless with your cutoff point for when ads should be turned off. And that's typically when they're over 10% above your average cost per demo. That said, if you introduce a new ad and let's say your average cost per demo is $250 and this ad has spent $400 and generated 1 demo, that doesn't mean to turn that ad off because it's just getting started. You're going to want to wait until that ad has spent 5 times your average cost per demo. So if your average cost per demo is $250, you're going to want to wait until that ad has spent $1,250. at $1,250, which is 5 times your target cost per demo, any given ad is still 10% above that target, I would go ahead and turn that ad off and test new ads. How do we actually run A/B tests to test different static image creative for B2B SaaS brands? How I typically do it is I start off with value propositions. So an ad set, within that ad set, you have 10 ads. And the difference in ads is typically going to be the headlines. So you've got a value prop, you got 10 ads. Those 10 ads, you're either going to have 5 different ad templates and 2 headlines, all based off of that value proposition. From there, you're then going to launch all those ads, and you're going to want to spend about 10 times the average cost per demo to test out these new ads. For example, if your average cost per demo is $250, you're going to want to spend $2,500. At which point your algorithm would have started favoring 1 to 3 of those 10 ads. So what you can do with the other typically 8, 7 ads that aren't really getting any spend, 95% of the time, the reason why those ads aren't getting any spend is because Facebook is very quickly with its algorithm determining that those ads were not going to be top performers. So it's inefficient for you to test those ads again. I would simply turn off all 7, all 8 of those ads, and then look at the other 1 to 3 ads that are getting the most spend. Typically what you're going to find is 1 to 3 of those ads that are getting the most spend are actually generating good results. So if your average cost per demo is $250 and one of those ads is generating demos for $260, let's keep that ad on. The other ad is generating demos for $275. Let's keep that ad on. The other ad has generated one demo for $400. Let's cut that ad off. The reason for this is to continuously introduce new ads to try and find more winners. Because what we want to do is we want to create a team of winning ads so it's a more stable, more robust ad account. If you only have one winning ad in your entire ad account that's getting 95% of the spend and generating 95% of the demos, the problem is all ads at some point or another are going to fatigue. When that happens, there's typically a lull in the account while you're testing out new ad concepts to find more winners. So ideally, you want to always have 3 to 7 ads that are currently converting so that you can take your ad that out of all the 7 ads that are converting, this ad is the least efficient, turn that off and then introduce a new winning ad into that team of winning ads. And this creates a more stable account and more stable results because all of the ads are doing their part to consistently generate demos. And not all your eggs are in one basket of 1-star ad. So that is the process for A/B testing at scale. It's essentially coming up with different value propositions and different headlines and continuously testing those out to see which ads can drive the highest conversion rates to generate the lowest cost per demo. And once you have a new baseline, a new target to hit, you can be even more ruthless with cutting off all those ads that don't hit those targets. So in this video training, we covered the importance of static image ads in converting traffic to sales, why I recommend starting with image ads over video ads, how to create winning static image ads, why it's important to develop value propositions and headlines before designing creative, 2 different examples for creating ad creative for B2B SaaS brands, why simple ads are more effective than complex ads, how to see which creative performs the best, how to A/B test creative and optimize your ad account, and some links below this video if you want that to Z playbook for coming up with value propositions, coming up with headlines, coming up with ads, building landing pages, setting up tracking, how to run testing, and how to optimize. All of those things are available in my free playbook, which you can access below. And to get a free ad strategy session with myself, head to the website and book a call. Thanks for your time.